Brother Crow comments, Adam taking no prisoners with Tom is some funny shit. Andre Gunnar Hoxson is grateful. Not the biggest Vinny fan, but thank you to Adam for not picking Christian Bladt as your co-host.
Yeah, I give you credit for coming on. I never thought you would in a million years, Tom. Would you answer some questions from the chat for everybody, though?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to.
Okay. Tom, this came from the Blackcast. He gave us a $1. If you would like to know what's like to be the funniest one on the screen.
Oh, my bullshit meter is going fucking haywire right now. Oh, Blackcast, you card.
No, he means that. He actually means that. He really does.
And he's right.
He's a real prick.
You're listening. Yeah, like all the time I'm listening.
WATB with Christian, Eric, and Carl sometimes.
Listen in your office, in your car, or even your neighborhood bar.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're having fun. We're making it happen.
It's fun time.
Open your mouth, close your eyes. We're going to give you a big surprise.
And here it is.
Welcome to Who Are These Broadcasters, the show that would be so much bigger if we were actually as gay as everyone thought we are. Happy Pride Month, everyone. I'm Christian Bladt, running on fumes after an extra innings Mets win at Dodger Stadium, and I'm sure you want to hear all about it. But I do need to introduce my co-host, the great Eric Zane, the guy who we established over the weekend would be crushing puss throughout Michigan's Upper Peninsula if only his dick worked. Hello, EZ. You might be on mute. I think that.
Rough start for Easy. No, you're absolutely right. Real sore spot with me. The fact that I just can't get anything to going in the semen department is the real issue.
Just nothing there.
Yes.
Speaking of nothing going in the semen department, we're excited to welcome back to the show from the All Apologies podcast.
Wait a minute,
great trucker Andy. I don't know. It just felt like a way to transition.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of podcasters other than me being proud of their bad dick, and here you can't throw Andy under the bus like that.
Andy's ashamed of it. He's not proud of it like you are, right, Andy?
Yeah, right. I'm normal in that way.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that. Thank you for being here, Andy. I know you're usually busy in this slot, and as soon as you mentioned that you were free, I'm like, great, you need to come on WATB.
Yeah.
And don't worry, I have an apology that
great.
we'll focus on a little bit later. But before we get into any of the nonsense of content, showing clips, trying to entertain people, Zane, the most important thing we do every week is let everyone know how super chats work on this show.
Well, interestingly enough, we had a great time allowing 0 poor chats. Are we maintaining that this week? I need to know that.
No, that was a 1 week thing.
Okay,
all right. By the way, if somebody wants to give us a $275 super chat, we'll hit our goal and we'll only read.
All right.
Yeah, we'll only read the super chats.
Okay.
But, I would like to feature the poor chat again.
Okay, outstanding. So basically, we want Christian to sign off with him saying something ridiculous, maybe pledging his allegiance to a man whose first name is Adolf, or perhaps talking about one side or the other between Gaza and Palestine, or
I think everybody knows what side I'm on.
Black Lives Matter, maybe the Me Too movement. We could bring that back. These are all things that are on the table. Maybe rip from the headlines, whatever it is you want to do, as long as you make it concise, fun, horrible. Yep. And you attach a dollar amount to it, because the one with the highest dollar amount is the one that Christian will read. So go big or go home. I suggest a minimum of $20 for that type of donation. I see that Dame Taft is checking in, and for $4.99 says, no poor chats will be read on the show today. Mine, Iggas, gotta eat.
For that kind of edict, Dame Taft, we need more than $5, but we appreciate that because we like to have fun. I do see good stuff in the port chat, because the one pun makes a really important point. And Andy, you haven't gotten caught up in this yet, but we're already letting people know about pre-orders for Hackamania 3, featuring Who Are These Broadcasters promo code Bears. We haven't been invited. We haven't talked to anyone about it. We just wanted to start promoting it early, which I think is the way to do it. Imagine WATB at Hackamania 3, kind of like Firefest 3, which probably is right up your alley, Andy.
Yeah, it's on brand. I'll say that. I think you should get Cardiff on, and then we can use promo code BearCum. That would be good.
That would actually be amazing. By the way, the one pun there in the chat, we've all seen him around here. Go ahead and follow him on social media. I was messaging with him over the weekend. He's fallen on some hard times. If you want to read more about it, he does have a GoFundMe. So check out the one pun. He will be in the poor chat. And we like him so much that he's the reason that I think we need to keep reading.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry that you're having an issue. Hopefully that'll get turned around soon enough, big fella.
And let's welcome Toby McGroby. became a YouTube member, and I appreciate that. And David Brailsford makes something very clear: like, subscribe, share, goddamn it, because you're not just liking and sharing this show, but we appreciate that you're sharing the whole network. And McDo, Zane got Me Too'd by his own prostate. That sounds accurate, actually. Easy. So, all right. Well, I think that we're having fun. And Andy, I wanted to give you a quick moment. Let everybody know what's been going on the All Apologies podcast, not just the episode that I was on. You've had some great shows in addition to that one.
Yeah, we've had Christian on. That's great. Eric, check your DMs. I invited you on, but we just had Blind Mike on to talk about Shane Gillis.
That's a real talent. I'm not even being shitty. Good for you getting Blind Mike on. I hope he's on the show again sometime soon. I've got a segment idea for him, and we'll just find time for him. What did you and Blind Mike talk about, Andy?
We were talking about Shane Gillis since Tires season 2 is coming out this week. So we wanted to revisit season 1, revisit his SNL debacle and the Bud Light campaign featuring him. So all of those things. Plus on our Patreon, we talked about Owen Cook, who is a dating coach for incels, and he is a piece of shit con artist that I love to bring up. So check that out on Patreon.
See, I feel like somebody who's giving dating tips to incels would be a saint, but I guess maybe he's taking advantage of the people who are looking to him.
Yeah,
so I'll definitely check that out. All Apologies. Thank you for that. And this show will start the way it so often does, with some local news.
WATB, who are these local news? Who are these local newscasters?
Andy, you're a musician and you do a fair amount of audio editing. Easy and I feel like the jingles on this show are nowhere near loud enough. We want to make them louder. I think that's probably the right approach. Would you agree, Andy?
I thought it was just fine.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, our buddy E-Rock came on and said they were too loud. So ever since then, I keep saying we're going to tweak them a little bit.
He's an audiophile, though. I mean, he's like the Rick Rubin of podcasts. God damn.
E-Rock definitely is that, yeah.
If I were going to give you tips about your show, the volume of the bumper would be at the bottom of the list.
All right, I appreciate that. Oh, wait, he just sent me a tip. Don't ring that stupid bell. It's an homage to Cardiff. So, look, I think that there's differing levels of excitement amongst people in these local news stories. And I'm on board with this guy, because imagine you get up, you go out your door, and there's a goddamn casket out on the sidewalk.
And I was thinking somebody had a great night last night, to be quite honest with you.
It's not something you see every day. A casket just sitting along the side of the road in a quiet Upper Marlboro neighborhood. James Robinson saw it as he went off to work Thursday morning.
And I woke up, and, in the morning you're kind of not as bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I just said, that is a casket.
So I appreciate him giving us that explanation. What time of day do you think this guy is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, Andy?
1 p.m.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was thinking 5:30, but sure. Yeah. It's a happy hour somewhere. All right. Well, let's hear more about this casket.
Did you look inside?
I did, actually. I did open the casket.
And what was in there?
Nothing. Just some white linen. Nobody, obviously. Get it? Punt. Nobody.
This is the...
Huh? Come on. I love this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, now I see we got Donnell Rawlings weighing in here.
Yeah.
Well, wait till you hear what job this guy has.
Place right here.
County Council member Calvin Hawkins.
Yes. Okay. So the guy in the goat t-shirt, the bright yellow goat
t-shirt. Madness, bright yellow t-shirt.
Yep. County Council member Calvin Hawkins. This is in the Washington, D.C. area.
Represents the Villages of Marlboro neighborhood. He heard about the coffin in a phone call early Thursday morning.
The call was an irate citizen calling about a casket in her neighborhood on the street. Who would do something like that? Kids are going to come by from school, and you can't leave that casket out here.
My question is why? What the kids are going to climb in the casket? I mean, it opens from the inside. They'll just get out. What's the big deal about this? You know,
God forbid children have fun.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
I think
go ahead.
There's plenty to be worried about in the community. Now they're making it seem like the kids can't even lay a casket out anymore, for God's sake.
Especially this community. Anybody who spent any real time in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, wait a minute, before I put my time on, let me run out here to make sure before I make any calls. And to my surprise and amazement, it was a real casket right there.
I liked how this guy went to the Scatman Crothers School of Breaking It Down. For those of you that might be able to get that reference.
Well, he does give us a real Hong Kong Phooey vibe, the number one super guy.
Deal with it.
An abandoned casket is considered illegal dumping. So the county's Department of Public Works and Transportation came out and hauled it away. They took this video. They even put together a funny post for Instagram.
Those guys cannot be referred to as Department of Public Works. Replace works with lazy.
Yeah, I get the feeling this is Hazard County, right? That guy's shirt, this whole casket. What if there was an old Christmas tree in it and they just ran out of yard waste bags and they wouldn't pick it up unless it was in something, you know?
Caskets can be expensive. Somebody's going to use that casket for guns.
No, they actually recycled it. And so that sounds like a waste because I think some fun could have been had with it. But look, all right, we laughed at the guy in the yellow t-shirt, but the council member found out there was an issue. He got the Department of Public. What did you say it was? Department
Lazy.
of Public. Yeah, okay. The DPL to come by and get it to go away. But man, what a great day for everybody involved. Hey, how long do you think they're going to be talking about? Hey, remember that day when we woke up and there was a casket?
No.
That's pretty amazing.
Come on. This is a light day. The back half of the day, there was gunfire erupting in the streets. They're like, where's that goddamn casket? We need it now.
You know what? Yeah, that's the difference. The fact that this casket was empty. That's why it was noteworthy. It's like, oh, usually the caskets that are laid out on the sidewalk are made to order, ready to go.
Believe it or not, I was a trash man for 2 seconds, and an empty casket is not the worst thing that you could hope to find on your route. So,
did you ever find a body?
Well, no, I found deer feet.
Ooh, how about a puppy? Any puppies?
I'll never forget this. I think this might have been when I decided to get out of the industry. When during safety training, they said if you happen to show up at one of your stops and the dumpster is on fire, just call the cops because somebody probably is disposing of evidence in there.
Come on, that's a metaphor for Chad Zumach. Yeah. That's a good thing.
I hope the Z-Man's sniping us right now. You know, he doesn't like you or me. I don't know if he has an opinion on you, Andy. He might be part of that contingent that thinks you and I are the same person, which you can tell because we look so similar. All right. Well, this is a story that I think would be a particular interest in the hamburger household, but not the Carl hamburger. This is one that made me think of Grant, Carl's brother.
Serious mistake on the last day of school at Pease Middle School. A teacher handed out drinks to students, not realizing they contained alcohol.
Whoops.
Northside ISD says a special education teacher brought several cans of hard Mountain Dew Baja Blast, a spiked beverage with 5% alcohol, and made these drinks available to the students in 3 classes. 5 students drank them. One child, who had also taken cough medicine that morning, ended up in the nurse's office feeling drowsy.
Okay.
The other 4 are the coolest kids in their school.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, honestly, I'd like to throw the teacher under the bus, but I can see a lot of people falling for it if it's Mountain Dew wacky flavors. I mean, Jesus Christ.
It does have the word hard on it, but I guess it needs to, say booze or liquor or be like the old cartoon jugs with the XXX on it. What's a teacher? Sorry, go ahead, Andy.
Special ed teacher? Is that appropriate? Like, that's why you're teaching that class?
Well, that's my real question, and this is why I should have asked Grant to come on and really address the important issues.
Grant, I'm assuming Grant is the special ed teacher.
No, Grant is a huge Mountain Dew fan.
Oh, actually. I thought you were going to say. I thought either he was a special ed teacher or he's special ed.
No, I mean
I think he's a Mountain Dew fan.
He's probably He's probably taught Carl plenty of things, so that's essentially special ed. But I understand what you're saying. What teacher gives regular Mountain Dew to students, even high school students? It seems like the premise is flawed. Is there any chance that this is a teacher that's maybe trying to get the kids liquored up intentionally? Because we know what those teachers are up to these days.
Oh yeah, sending a student to the nurse because they're drowsy is the goal. If you're in that, if you're that teacher, like let's get all these kids unconscious.
Yeah. Let's finish off this one.
His father says the school did not notify him until hours later.
Our kids can't bring in cupcakes from HEB for birthday party. Why are teachers allowed to bring all this other stuff in unchecked and given to children?
The drinks,
I
which
can't
look
take a guy seriously who wears his hat like a douchebag. So fuck that guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that,
He's
this is
wearing it
Texas.
backwards.
And this guy is actually why I wanted to go back to this. So, yeah, the Baja Blast mango, Baja Blast pineapple. I'll have to clip this and send it to Grant. He'll tell us which one of these is the best. I've never had a hard dew.
I mean, it's for
a hard dude.
Well, of course, Eric has never had a hard anything. I'm sorry. What were you going to say, Andy?
Please don't say hard in front of Eric.
Yeah,
but I mean, hard Mountain Dew is for children with fake IDs. Am I wrong?
Oh, okay.
Who else is buying that?
Yeah, it's this generation's Zima, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I remember Zima. Shit. My wife used to get hammered on that all the time. Not me, but her for sure. Gonzo says, hey, I'm sorry for being a hater before. I'm a WATB super fan now. How about that?
Well, I take back everything I said about Gonzo Shitcock, which I don't even think I said much of anything. But we appreciate
I don't recall.
Yeah, I do remember. I definitely remember him super chatting or poor chatting. Anyway, thank you for the $2. We appreciate that. Hamburger. I'll be the judge of burger-based interest, and I really appreciate Hamilton Burger sending that in at this point because we're going to be doing a bit of a fast food chunk here right now. If I was thinking, I would have saved this to get Rocco on the show because I don't know anybody who talks more about fast food than the great Tukey himself. But getting fast food has proven a little bit dangerous in the past on this show, right, Eric? We've had some shootings. We've had people going back behind the counter and getting their ass kicked.
Yep.
Yeah.
And thank God for cameras. We've been able to see it all. Outstanding work.
Well, we're not going to unfortunately see this one. We're going to hear about this one though. So let's see what the issue was at a Checkers location, which you always know you're at a good establishment when they don't have an indoors because they don't trust people to come inside.
Yes, and those new shocking details were released today. According to a witness, this could have potentially been over a packet of mayo. Now, one person is behind bars and another person is dead. And this happened in a busy area, as you can see, right in Old Town, which is near Fun Spot.
I mean, it sounds like a fun spot. I love that this place is called Fun Spot because you go to the Checkers and there's some real fun. You know, you got people getting shot.
Okay.
Yeah. And the theory is that, yes, it was in fact over a request for mayonnaise. But as with all fast food violence, it's a little bit more complicated.
David says Wesley Robertson asked to speak with the manager several times after ordering from the front window at Checkers Wednesday night. Deputies say that's when Mackey climbed out of a drive-through window, walked around the side of the building, and started arguing with Robertson. According to
So we're sort of jumping around in the story a little bit. Does anybody have any theories on the suspect? Do you want to make any generalizations? Any broad commentary on that? EZ? I'll let.
Yeah,
Andy
it stood out to me. I don't know what it is about guys with really manicured tight goatees.
Yeah,
and the camera at the angle that we saw the picture of him at, and the stupid necklace. He just looked like kind of a douche bro, a Florida douche bro.
Oh yeah, I believe that's the back jacket on the second Limp Bizkit record. I think.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. So I already think that he's either guilty of murder or he deserved to die. One of those two things is going to be true.
Well, I think the thing that's not going to surprise maybe our audience and our chat is I wanted to jump around for a moment and show you the suspect. I guess he's not technically a guilty party until he's been found guilty.
Be held pursuant to Arthur.
Oh, there he is.
23-year-old Elijah Mackey in an orange jumpsuit and cuffs.
Well, that makes him look innocent, though.
Okay, so I didn't know that there was a black person involved in this. I need to change all my thoughts.
I thought you might. I did set you up for that. See, Andy, you see how this show works. You and Joe Sixpack try to work together, but we do a lot of self-sabotage over here.
Making a first appearance in court Friday. He's charged with first-degree premeditated murder. Osceola County deputies say it was all over a fast food customer complaining about his meal. A witness said he was possibly asking for mayo packets.
Okay, so we got that part. And
mayo doesn't sound like the N-word. I don't know what happened there. God damn.
Yeah, what condiment would be mistaken for that? Can you think of
I don't know. Maybe he sneezed right when he wanted to say mayo, and it came out as it ended in I don't know.
Last report, that's when Robertson used derogatory language to insult Mackey. And
oh, wait a minute. Okay, so there's derogatory language at play. Easy. All of a sudden, this is all starting to add up.
In response, Mackey pulled a gun out of his waistband and shot Robertson in the chest. He fell headfirst into the building.
Wow, is that what his head did? Look at that hole.
So there's two things about this. I would love it if this actually has nothing to do with when this guy got shot. And they're just like, that looks good. I'm going to assume he fell into there, but it's traditional broadcast media. I don't know that I trust them to really deliver the facts here.
The employee ran toward the slingshot ride and then to Celebration Suites nearby.
Okay.
By the way, I think Celebration Suites has never been happier to be having their phone number featured.
I like the idea of this guy running into the go-karts and thinking he's going to escape on a circuit track.
He's going to get away. He's like, wait a minute, I'm not really getting anywhere. Let me go to the Celebration Suites. Let's see what some of the tenants at Celebration Suites think.
We spoke with people staying there.
Can you imagine? You're just like, let's go to Checkers. I want, a hamburger meal or whatever it is. And next thing you know, you're gone. I mean, how does that happen?
I mean, you call a guy a word that starts with an N and ends with an R. That's probably how it happens, right?
Yeah. I think everybody's right in this one.
So the kid that shot the guy is the employee?
Yes. So the employee
there.
He crawled out of the window, the drive-up window. They say.
Right. Gun in his waistband during his shift at Checkers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you got people asking for relish. You got people asking for mustard. You got people denying reparations.
Maybe he thought it was the sour cream gun for the tacos that they use.
Yeah. I don't get this. JFK Head Chunk writes, "Mail, please," and I don't know. I don't get it.
So many of these stories about fast food, when I share them, it is about the people that we see there. Our buddy Reverend Shitstain posted this in the Discord a few weeks ago. This is back in the Washington, D.C. area. A McDonald's that will only let you inside if you're 21 and up.
At this McDonald's, customers are greeted at all entrances, which are locked, with a sign saying they have to be over 21 to dine inside. A doorbell alerts a staff member who lets you in. As you can see, they're happy to greet some customers, while others get denied. According to a spokesperson for this franchise, student violence and disrespectful behavior erupts here at least once a week, and staff and customers are sick of it. Thomas Edison High School is just across the street.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And I come here every morning. I get my.
Sorry, go ahead. What was that, Andy?
There's a Thomas Edison School in Rochester. For 2 seconds, I thought this was my hometown because I would not be surprised if that was happening here as well.
Right. Well, this guy might seem like he could be from the neighborhood. And
I get my sausage biscuit and my hash brown.
Robert Hankaski says for nearly 50 years he's been frequenting this McDonald's.
This has been slowly manifesting probably over 10 years.
He says high school students routinely trash the bathrooms, start fights in the dining area, and generally provide an unpleasant experience for everyone.
I would have thought it would have been like George Washington Carver High School.
Well, Fairfax County is actually the nice part of the suburbs. I mean, there's going to be exceptions, but it's nicer than Prince George's County is what you have to look for your George Washington Carver High School.
Lighting is a problem, you know what I'm saying? You'll get one, it'll call, and they're pretty brazen, you know what I mean? And the management try to step in, and these kids are pretty violent. They're not really kids, let's be honest. They're young adults.
I don't think that's the word he wanted to use. They're not really kids. They're young adults.
Thank you, retired Ted DiBiase. We appreciate your help.
What did Chad's missing upper lip say during?
Yeah, I don't get this either. A bunch of students just stole my truck. I don't know what that means. That's weird.
The $600 man, Ted DiBiase.
If you dine at Checkers, says Gonzo, you deserve to get got.
No.
Well, that's ridiculous. I love Checkers. God damn it.
Oh, all right. Well,
and their companion restaurant rallies.
Yeah, sure.
Developed in partnership with local
Let's
school
hear
officials
from that guy
and
one more
oversight from local law enforcement.
But they're just trying to stop the violence, you know what I mean? It's just stop the, because it's not fair to, any other customer comes in there just for a sandwich or a hardworking person, and they got to put up a bunch of idiots.
Again, he uses the word idiots. Do you think he was looking for another word?
He's editing himself for sure, but
yeah,
he seems pretty together despite showing lack of any knowledge of anything by wearing the sleeveless fucking tie-dye deal that he had on there.
Well, Jeremy, who sends a lot of videos to me, he sends them to my Instagram. He sent us an example of, maybe sometimes you don't actually want to go inside of McDonald's because you might run into this.
So I walked in McDonald's. I need some delish. I heard there was a grandma butterscotch dish. So I was on my way. I was skipping along. And then I thought to myself, a freestyle song. I'll order from Monique a delicious treat, a grandma McFlurry just for me. So let me think about the butterscotch and cream. I'm going to think about the delicious in a dream. So butterscotch sundae, thank you so much. She said it was on the house for my rap. For both of us, can I get a high five and that laugh? And now you understand, I put that grandma McFlurry in my rap.
Easy, what are you thinking right now?
I think we need to cancel Pride is what we need to cancel because of after that.
Well, yeah, you might be onto something there. Yeah.
Cancel the internet, cancel rapping,
cancel life,
cancel all of it. Yeah, exactly. All right.
What are you doing? Look at this.
What the fuck is that? Show's overlooked, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that smaller windows are better. All right. So obviously, the people who turn out for fast food events are the real heroes. A Whataburger, which is literally the most overrated fast food on the planet, and I will fight people over this. It was opening a new location in North Carolina, and let's see who's at the front of the line. Who wants to be at the front of the line, Easy?
Are actually came all the way up.
Now you can't see it, can you?
No,
well, I assume you don't understand.
Are you
what's
seeing what I'm
with the
seeing?
layout.
Because I see you big with us over you. It's
okay.
Yeah,
no,
I
I'm
didn't
not
know if
seeing
you
that.
saw that.
No, I don't see that. I hadn't
Okay.
had this happen in a while.
All right, before you get to that, about that previous gentleman, John Cena's non-union gay equivalent, says Hamilton Burger. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
No, I know.
You want me to like?
Why don't you move all that around? I'll be back in a second.
Would you like me to walk out of the room and
You
come
want me to
back?
move it around? How the fuck can I move it around? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You see those the little orientation there. Yeah, here. All right.
Now we see just you big and the little.
Well, that's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
Now,
All right.
okay.
I'll come back in a minute.
Yeah, you do. You check out. And let me just tell you that Hackamania #3 is coming up in like 10 months. So it's going to be great. Christian and I are going to be there. Christian's going to toss your salad. I'm not sure where it's going to be. Just remember, use the code BEARS at checkout, and you can take advantage of that. Is it going to be in Las Vegas? I don't fucking know. I don't find out till 3 weeks before the event. The one pun says code BEARS at checkout. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, that is what he said.
So basically, if you just check out and check in, it fixes it on its own. That's remarkable.
No, I'm not sure yet because I haven't tried to show the video that I want to show.
Okay.
That's where the real problem could come.
I'm doing
in.
my best to stall. If you need more, just let me know.
I appreciate that. Let me know if you guys see this. So you see this now, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The last time that this happened, I hadn't restarted my computer in a month. I restarted it this morning, but nope.
Okay.
But
No
anyway,
worries.
so look, as I was setting up before EZ fucked everything up, I don't know what you did, but so a Whataburger's opening, and who turns up at the front of the line of these things? Probably people who are really interesting, who have good stories.
Are actually Ruben, come over here. You came all the way up to be the first person in line. Tell us your name.
Chris.
And you're from
Spartanburg.
Why'd you come up here? Why'd you drive up here and you're the first in line?
Because I wanted to come up here, be up here at Whataburger.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
We should just say because I'm retarded. This is what we do.
You should see the state of my house. This is a lot better.
Yeah, standing outside of a Whataburger that's not even open is definitely better.
It's better than wiping my mom's ass for what I do usually at this time.
Let's see if he's got a handler who can help conversations go along a little bit better.
Do you like the burgers?
Yeah, my uncle made me come.
Your uncle, you made him come?
I feel like his uncle makes him come all the time.
Is that the uncle? It's like, he's got. Yeah. I still got cum on my mouth right now.
Why'd you make him come?
Hey,
it's good.
It's the more the merrier.
The more the merrier. They came up here. They're the first people in line. I'll step out of the way. And
And how many hard Mountain Dews have you had today?
Wow,
not nearly enough.
Some of those questions, though, by this televangelist that's doing the report, I expected more. Because he just said, "Why do you come? What do you think? Because they're shitty, asshole."
What makes you come, sir? Everybody wants to know.
So that's not all there was to this live report from Whataburger, and I've got so much that I want to play on today's show, but who knows if I'll actually be able to get it on the screen. I'm going to waste some serious time with how long this takes.
All right. I'm
ask you guys, I've been, I used to live in Texas, so I got 3. I'm going to see if you can spot the lie. Guys, are you ready?
All right.
We're ready, Richard.
Are you ready for me to tell you that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. First one. I started working at a Whataburger in high school. Actually started doing the fries. That was my favorite job. Did it through high school and the first year of college. Really enjoyed it. That was one.
Okay.
Number 2, I fell asleep after a night out of party. No alcohol involved. Fell asleep in a Whataburger line, and actually cars just drove right around us. When we woke up, we were like, oh, no one's in line. We were able to drive up. Whataburger was still open, of course. We were able to get our food. And number 3, I was so popular, one Whataburger, I would just drive up to the window. The guy knew me, the manager, after a while. The lines would be super long. I was working at a television station, and they would always bring me out a Coke with just a little bit of ice, and this was free. And then people would look at me, and they'd be like, he's okay, he's good. Those are the 3. Take time. We'll come back, and we'll tell us.
So this is the worst Cardiff Electric game I've ever seen.
What a point. Everything was pointless.
Well, the best thing, so it's 3 terrible truths and a lie. And the payoff is why I'm sticking with this. So he's like, all right, why don't you guys come back to me in a little bit? And they're like, no, we'll just try to figure it out now. Because watch, he's going to be surprised.
See if you figured it out, which one is not true.
The first one is the lie.
Do you know now?
The first one.
What, you can figure this out? Holy shit.
You didn't work there.
2 and 3 were too specific.
We right, Richard?
If I started on fries, that's too specific. Actually, I'm going to tell you, you guys are pretty good. The first one is semi-true. I worked at a Burger King in college and high school.
So that's what the lie was. That's what the lie was. We said he didn't work at Whataburger making fries. He worked at Burger King. Neither of the other things, which are interesting. He's like, yeah, the party where, obviously there was no alcohol involved. And I'm like, all right.
I just want to hear the news director come screaming into the newsroom, grab the mic and say, listen, token, no more stories for you. Get back here and start writing.
Eric, things are a little wonky on my laptop today. Did you share a video that I didn't see? Is there something that I'm confused by? Remember we had that story about the escape
the
gates.
super chats are kind of firing off one after the other, and they're I'm not doing this, but all these they're just popping up.
See,
God damn it.
Yeah, Andy, stop putting the pork chop up.
That's not Andy.
Oh,
no one's doing it. It's just happening.
I'm just submitting them. I'm not putting them up there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't even know what that one means.
Well, by the way, if Troy Smith's going to say hi, I'll say hi to him. All right. Well, that was our local news for the day, and we appreciate all of it. I think I noticed now that Carl came in to see if we needed help earlier, but I did do the old walk out the door and come back in.
Yeah,
so,
it's totally fine, Carl. We have got this. I know you're busy getting your show together that just makes fun of other shows and doesn't really do anything interesting. So
that's what we do. We do exactly the same thing. we're just taking from other places.
It's a low effort show that's not talented. We all know this.
Right. It's not like Sit Down Zoombach. Now that's a show that has some, and Opie Unleashed NYC. Those are the real shows that require a lot of work. All right. Well, speaking of shows, I do want to spend a few moments over with some talk shows.
WATB, who are these talk shows? Who are these talk shows?
And, a lot of people here will be familiar with my friend Zia, who I used to do a ton of shows with at a network called AfterBuzz. Most people do know her from the Chip Chipperson podcast. But there's a time long ago where we used to do a lot of shows together.
Look at that.
Look at us, huh? Barely tolerating each other.
Looks like a radio promotional little piece there. Like
he's still wearing the same shirt.
Yeah. That No, I'm wearing a Christmas sweater there, but
Really?
yeah, no, so my friend Zia, she has a YouTube channel called Zialand, Xialand. She does a show called Unqualified Experts, and yes, Andy, I have been a guest on that before. Thank you for asking. But last week she had on Nick Rekietta, who people know really well. From
is that the guy that has the jizz that supposedly dude ate? What's his name again?
Steel Toe. Yeah.
Steel
I'm glad
Toe.
you boiled down an entire 6 hour this little piggy to those 4 or 5 seconds. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's who Nick
His
Rekietta.
jizz has been in a dude's tummy.
I mean, probably more than one, if I had to guess. And that's not even, on Nick. That's on, people who, slurp it up after.
It must be good. It must taste great.
Nick Rekietta was at Hackamania too. I didn't really get a chance to talk to him, but I wasn't being like Team OJ and avoiding him. I don't know if you got to talk to Nick at Hackamania too, Andy.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Seemed like a nice enough guy. So I guess Zia's known him for a while. And during her stream, there is an amount that is reached of donations. So there's something that she has to do. And this is basically about Nick watching. We have to thank the great Hackverse Anonymous for making this in a way where we can play it. After you watch it, after this show, if you want to see it uncensored, it's still up. It hasn't been edited. It is on Zialand on YouTube. But watch how Nick responds to what Zia has to do thanks to a donation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really good one. And you know what?
Now
I
I
need
get
it because there's a freaking kink in my neck.
Needs
that's
to do a
awful. I'll
stretch.
show you guys this stretch. I gotta make sure we're okay though. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, this sounds like kink for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so this is everybody get ready for a great stretch. What you're going to do here with this stretch is you're going to get on your hands and your knees. Now, this is tabletop position.
Okay, thank
for
you,
anyone
Zia.
who does yoga. I've seen personal trainers do this. I've seen yoga people do this. I've seen physical therapists do this. It's fantastic. Now, I am none of those things. I used to be a certified personal trainer, but I'm not anymore. So anyway, but I still do this stretch, and I just
we can play a little bit more. Easy, you seem to be concerned about what's happening here.
Yeah, it's just fucking weird. I don't want to look at some chick's fucking asshole with a bunch of dudes. It's just fucked up, man. It's everything. And then this creep. Look at this fucker. God damn.
I mean, look, it's just being presented to him. I don't think this is on Nick. It's on whoever donated like $270 or whatever.
How did such a dork get to have sex with Steel Toe's wife, who's pretty good looking? I mean, this guy's a fucking Joe.
You've seen Aaron, right? You've seen what Aaron.
Yeah, she
looks
must like dorks.
And Andy, we've seen
horrible.
pictures of Aaron with his shirt off. So you know, it's not. It adds up. So continue to.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. What was that?
He's got bigger tits than Zia.
He does.
I like how she said, "My neck hurts. I better expose my asshole."
Well,
on the
because she's doing this stretch. Andy, this is really important.
I just think everybody should know about it. So what typically?
Well, no, Troy Smith does make the point that we blocked this out, but Zane's taint is cool for all of us to see. No, actually, it's not.
No, that was nobody knew that was happening.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a curveball. Okay?
That had to be removed from
and
that
after
episode.
Carl told me, look, you got to do something to get this show on the map. I'm sick and tired of only 30 people watching it. So you got to do something. So that the legend was born.
The show has gotten the show has gotten much bigger since Taintgate.
Right. So, you know, the proof is in my asshole. Yeah, it was a success.
So it is a little bit less about what she's saying and about so she's arching her back.
The cat
and
portion
Nick is
of the stretch. This stretches lats all the way down to your lower back. I mean, that's the great thing about this stretch, right?
Great thing about
and then what you're going to do from
He's
here
uncomfortable.
is
You
sink
think?
down with your belly towards the floor, lifting your glutes up towards
Hands above
the
the cat.
ceiling
Yep.
sky. You could do this outside. I've done this at the beach. It's great. Hence the bikini.
Everybody
and
hands
this
up.
really stretches out your
Zane's dick doesn't
hamstrings,
work. It's fine.
your
Yeah,
glutes,
it's fine. I'm not
and
even remotely
your
turned on
hips.
by this.
Stretches the hips real nice. So you just kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
And I always like to breathe in on
So
the
he's just
cat
like, okay.
and out on the
So
cow.
now-
So you
I
just
have a
go.
question.
Okay.
If you've seen this unedited,
I have.
and now do you see? Is this one where there's like half a lip hanging out?
No, she adjusted herself off camera.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
it is something you could see at the beach, but most ladies might adjust.
Right.
When it
Okay.
looks like
But
this.
we're talking about millimeters. You might even, if
Yeah.
you got zoomed in, you'd see a couple of hairs sticking.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if she has any of those, but
Okay,
she's
all
welcome
right.
to come on here and talk about it.
All right. By the way, bushes are coming back, I heard.
I hope not.
I feel like if you bleached your asshole, this wouldn't be a problem.
She's doing the big breaths here, and I promise that Rekietta has a line that I'm waiting for.
You are gonna get me fucking killed.
And when Hackverse Anonymous put this clip out there, he actually put that as a drop at the beginning. And so again, if you want to see more of Zia's stretches, please go over to Zia Land on YouTube. Easy. I don't think you'll be heading over there particularly
No.
soon.
No, I like old women anyway. You know, I don't like women who are a lot younger than me. It grosses me out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's not like
No, it's not like there's going to be anything that happens anyway. Come on now.
Right. Well, that wasn't the only big talk show over the week. Over this past week, there was another big talk show appearance where we do not have to blur out the asshole who was on it. Our buddy Carl Hamburger was on with primetime Alex Stein. And just like I was saying, everybody should go over to Alex Stein's channel and watch the whole episode. Carl did a great job. He was also on Normal World with Dave Landau. Check out both of those shows. They're from The Blaze, but you can find them on YouTube. There's just a couple of quick things that I want to share because I know Easy's not a good friend. He's not going to support Carl in his other.
No, I would. I just don't have time to watch that right-wing bullshit.
Okay. Well, that's not what I was expecting to hear. I forgot how woke you were. Listen, primetime Alex Stein, the pimp on a blimp, gets to something really important. There's a rumor about Carl that primetime Alex Stein's able to put to rest.
Claiming Michael Jordan's jockstrap, that wouldn't be that bad. Would you have not liked that?
How much communication do you get with Michael Jordan in that role? I don't think he respects you.
You get to watch him put it in the bag. You get to watch him take it off delicately.
I don't watch
You get
that
to watch him bend over and he puts it in
Hard
the bag.
pass.
You get to look at it just
Yeah, hard pass on that one.
You pass the test, you're not gay.
So that proves it. Carl's not gay. He doesn't want Michael Jordan's jockstrap.
I need a little more context there. Did that just drop in out of left field? Was there?
No, they were
build-up
talking
to
about
it?
Joey C, how he used to be the equipment manager for a baseball team, and I guess it was during a Michael Jordan rehab assignment. Remember when Michael Jordan had to pretend he wanted to play baseball because he got suspended from the NBA for gambling, and his dad got killed? Allegedly, none of that actually happened. Allegedly, none of those things happened. Here's Sam Bibley says, I heard on WATP they're mad at this show for not covering enough white genocide stuff. Yeah, that sounds about right. Carl makes an important point about the Dabbleverse here. I've got this and one more quick one.
Anthony Cumia at the top of the Dabbleverse, or is it really Howard? This is my argument. Or is it really Howard Stern because Shuley and Stuttering John kind of came off the Howard Stern tree? But you could argue that Anthony came off the Howard Stern tree because his first appearance was impersonating, I forget who did he?
Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie on
impression.
the Howard Stern show.
I'm the top of the Dabbleverse, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, we're going to put you there.
What do we do? We're declaring Shuley and Anthony?
Well, I was saying,
What's going on right now?
So what do you think?
Oh, he's letting his dick swing. How about that?
Do you think Carl's really worked up about this being not even considered for the top of the?
Yeah, he can't let whoever this guy is get away with that.
The pimp on a blimp. We've played many clips of him.
Yeah, I don't remember this shit. I don't remember this show. God damn it! I can't.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Alex Stein? I don't give a fuck.
Milo Yiannopoulos tried to destroy his show, but anyway. So Alex realizes like, oh, this might have struck a nerve.
Oh, you're
very insulting.
Wait,
sir.
no, don't show.
I'm sitting
Anthony
right
anymore.
here.
No, you really are. You really are mad about that because you are the.
I'm not mad about
show
that.
him. Yes, you are.
I'm
You're
totally
mad.
joking.
I call Anthony the king of the Dabbleverse.
I love Anthony.
Jimmy, is
He's a
he
good
really
buddy of
mad?
mine.
Look how ready. I know. And
He's bright red.
Andy, you know Carl on a personal level, and you're actually in rooms with him. I don't think he's actually mad, but I think it's very funny that Alex is playing this up. But he is the king of the Dabbleverse, right, Andy? Right?
I would think it is kind of funny to go to the Michael Jordan thing. If Alex were to start talking about the heyday of the Chicago Bulls and talk about Scottie Pippen and everybody else in the lineup except Michael Jordan, it's like it's kind of the whole reason that there is a Dabbleverse.
Okay, so
Carl out of the conversation.
So Carl's the Michael Jordan, is what you're saying.
Of the Dabbleverse.
He's the Naismith. He invented the goddamn game. He's fucking Peach Baskets, 1854, all that shit.
And easy again, because I know you're not going to watch it. The Prime Time with Alex Stein always ends with the freestyle finale, which you might remember.
Spirit Airline, I'm prime time, and they crash on the couch. Carl on the couch, make you say ouch when he reacts to your whack ass podcast. He's gonna make you feel like a dumbass. He's the kid in the corner. Look at how he's running. He's like a Beastie Boy. He's on fire. What you want? What you want? Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, go follow Carl. We love you, Joey C. Peace.
No one loves Joey C. So again, check out Primetime Alex Stein's YouTube channel for if you're watching this, you like the Dabbleverse. Carl made the point. I don't know how much of Alex Stein's audience loves the Dabbleverse, but for us, it was a great episode. Dave Lando kind of said it.
Were they getting free butterscotch sundaes at McDonald's for that? Remember when I said rap is dead based on the God, white guys don't rap. No more.
No,
white
Carl brought rap back.
Oh no, he didn't.
No, he fuck rap. You can have it back, I believe is what he said. Amber Alert wants to know, can we just go back to the naked girl? There is definitely something to be said there. Anyway, I think that Carl did a great job. Izzy, do you have any thoughts about the little rave off there at the end of
the only thing I liked about that was seeing Carl's handsome face. Fuck this guy, he sucks cock.
Oh my God. Good Lord. That's a terrible thing to say. Look, I'm a big fan of Alex Stein, and I didn't know that was going to.
Alex
those
Stein
words
suck
were
my dick. That guy's shitty.
I mean, why would he bother sucking your dick? What's going to happen if somebody puts your dick in their mouth? Like, what's the? What's actually
fuck, was that brutal? God damn.
Okay. Well, I thought you might enjoy it a little bit.
No,
but,
I like Carl, but I mean, Carl's a normal human being. This guy's a fucking retard.
Well, we can agree to disagree, right, Andy?
Yeah. You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Actually, what Andy just put in the private chat is no, actually, Carl's the retard, and that's messed up that you would say that.
Okay.
About our friend Carl. All right, so that was fun, but let's head over to some real celebrity news.
WATV, who are these celebrity news? Who are these celebrity news?
What was that chat that you put up? I was
King of all Dilfs or Diffs says Zane mad because Alex dick works. We don't know that.
I'm pretty sure it does.
How do we know that?
He does like big booty Latina ladies. He's very proud of it. So I want to focus on the Diddy trial, and we're not going to go into the literal ins and outs of the trial. All right. Sorry, that's on me. But I do want to talk a little bit about it because I've wanted this clip on the show for weeks since the trial started. This is actually the first day.
Oh, sometimes you told me about that you want to show him beating that chick.
Yes, no. Carl said, please don't show that. So
okay,
like,
all right.
So,
all right.
You can go to the insane asylum.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that on your own.
Yeah.
There, Christian. I don't condone that.
That's
you
on
watch it on All Apologies episode like 65 or something.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But what we do have is outside of the trial, a local reporter is she's not having an easy time doing her live stand-up.
I feel bad that guy was sticking up for us. White boy. This is how. Shut the fuck up, bitch. This is the public. I said bitch.
So this reporter's just trying to record something, and when you do this downtown New York City, people might find you and they might have opinions. Let's see.
You should have interviewed him. She should have said, "Sir, what do you have to say?" I mean, it'd be great TV.
I'll tell you who would have interviewed him is primetime Alex Stein. He would have gotten great content out of it.
I said, shut the fuck up.
So now we see him, and this guy, I think Steel Toe puts this guy to shame. This guy with his shirt off, Andy.
Yeah. He's both in great shape.
Bitch! I said I called you a bitch. I called you a bitch. When a grown man speaks, you shut the fuck up.
I mean, it is starting to make some sense.
Oh,
when a grown man speaks, you shut the fuck up.
Where's my gun? Where's my gun? Jesus.
Yeah. I think that this guy used to work at Checkers, by the way.
Shut the fuck up.
Happy Pride Month.
Sir, let's stay classy. Don't do that shit.
Is somebody saying, let's stay classy? When do you think this guy's ever been classy in his life?
Oh, because anybody that takes a dick in the butt is the devil. You fucking Nazi. You fucking faggot Nazi. We
Oh my God.
What was that, Easy?
What about a finger in the butt? He talked about dick, but let's talk about fingers.
He's over here. No, I'm building.
Yeah. Anyway, so he goes on. Wow. So it's no small feat trying to get one of those in there.
I can't wait for the auto-tune the news version of that remixed Diddy style.
Chad's missing upper lip. I hear that, Zane. Taking a dick in the butt makes you the devil. Only if you're a man. I mean, I think. Whoa! How does this even happen? SS shaken. I'm sorry. This has just derailed the whole show. I think we've gotten $50. Yeah, go ahead.
Donated $100. That's very sweet. Says WATB is still the best produced show on this network. That's Christian's fault. He does everything.
I think you accidentally hit an extra zero on that.
Yeah, is that true? Easy. I hope to meet you at Hackamania 3.
Sorry,
the ads. Listen to Dynamic Resolution, a video game show. Please clap.
Thank you. Please clap. I force applause breaks. Please clap.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
You're supposed to put an insult to Christian in there, though.
Yeah, I know. But
I don't know. It's no one's. That's so sweet to spend that much money and not even say something horrible.
I know. But
well, maybe they are by saying that this is a well-produced show.
Well, that's actually Shane, who went to Hackamania 2 from Alaska. So he did work in a plug for his show. So at least he did that. I guess that's worth $100.
That's
but you know what? I'm not sure that that's going to be my sign off, Eric. I bet that somebody's going to give us $101.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Shirtless guy also had a non-alcohol party. Hamilton Burger says, yes, I believe he also passed out in the drive-thru at Whataburger after a non-alcohol party. So as the Diddy trial has continued on, hilariously, as EZ was characterizing it, there is a clip that has made the rounds from The Apprentice. So there was a contestant who had previously worked for Diddy.
I'm a very strict and focused businesswoman because working for Diddy for 6 years trained me to have to be perfect.
Working for Diddy?
Absolutely.
I love Diddy.
Don's never been wider. I love Diddy.
I love Diddy.
I love Dinky and all of them folks who do that
For
kind of
shizzle my nizzle.
So we're going to get to the meat of the clip in a second, but that is not necessarily a clip that, Corolla's fine. He'll say whatever he wants. I love that George Takei is there. Clay Atkins, was that guy's name? The guy from American Idol, Clay.
Wow, what a collection of people that is.
Yeah,
Holy fuck.
Snyder was there.
I didn't even notice him, and he's not going to take it. All right, well, future President Trump in this clip does steer the conversation back to Diddy.
You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy.
Okay. Just want to let that breathe for a second. Okay.
Is he a good guy?
I don't want to answer that
Oh,
question.
wow.
I
I
don't
think
know.
he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
So Donald Trump is going to stick up for him. And I think that that clip leads to a guy who we talk a lot about on this show. I would say he's the last trustworthy journalist in all of Washington, D.C.
Yes.
The great Peter Ducey.
Yes.
The great Peter Ducey asks a question of President Trump, an event that we'll cover in a moment, but this is the Diddy portion of his questions.
You mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Okay, so the question, I think most people could hear it, but Peter Ducey says, would you ever consider pardoning Diddy? Seems like a bit of a layup, but let's hear what the president has to say.
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But
And by the way, yes, Peter did have to be the one to ask. He's always the one who he's the only one who can get close enough to ask these
I
questions.
know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up.
Remember when he ran for politics?
Yes,
Trump.
Yeah.
So this is the part that tells me the answer is no. He hasn't talked to me in a long time, and he didn't say nice things about me. But let's hear more.
From what I read, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper.
A little
all
bit
of a sudden,
nasty.
A little bit.
It's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics, and you
said
do
it
what's
twice
right.
now.
I could do other things, and
Just answer
I'm
it,
sure
you
he'd
fucking
like me,
idiot.
I'm sure other people
He'll
would
try.
like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well.
We know.
Because of what we're doing.
Thank you.
So
Stop
I can't-
that.
It's not a popularity contest. So
No.
I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it
Yeah.
wouldn't have any impact.
What about that chick that was beat up? I don't know if she liked you or didn't like you. What do you think about the chick that got beat up in the hotel?
So Andy, you did do an episode of All Apologies on the Diddy trial. Do you think that if the president were to be presented with irrefutable facts, he would be like, well, what Diddy did wasn't really that wrong? Do you think that that's likely to be the logical conclusion?
Well, I feel like if it would set the table for Donald to get a pardon later. I think he's doing all these pardons to normalize getting pardoned so that when he needs to be pardoned, he'll get a pardon. So
right,
he would pardon Diddy.
He's waiting for a JD Vance pardon. I
Yeah.
think is what you're getting at. Yes, all
Yeah.
right, that's fair. So there's a non-zero chance that Diddy will go free, and I think that this speculation. Look, if I'm up on this, I'm sure that last trustworthy reporter Peter Ducey knows. Chris Cuomo has a show on News Nation, and he had a very special guest, a jailhouse interview with Suge Knight, and Suge weighs in on this.
I don't think Cassie is in a situation where she has to lie. I don't think she's in a situation where she got to be worried anymore. I think she's in a great place with another baby on the way, and I still feel that Puffy's gonna be all right and have a fair shot at it because Puffy he's not a dummy, and I'm quite sure somebody's gonna talk to those jurors and convince one or two of them, and that's all he needs is one.
Okay, I just want to pause that first. This is the first part of Suge Knight's statement. Well, I'm sure someone's going to talk to those jurors. All you need to do is get to one.
Right.
Yeah, all right. I mean, look, we know the kind of business that Suge's been a part of. Yeah, he understands. You see the look on Chris Cuomo's face?
Right. He's fucking Jesus Christ. We're talking about jury tampering, for God's sake.
Yeah. Well, let's let Suge continue because the last thing I would ever do if he was in a room with me is interrupt Suge Knight.
So at the end of the day, it's going to be a real exciting situation, but I think he's going to be all right.
Suge, do you think he's going to be all right because someone's going to tamper with the jury? Is that what you're trying to say?
He got enough influence, and I'm quite sure, don't seem like the prosecution is that bad against him. Don't seem like I think he got some favors with the government. I think they're going to show him a little leeway. It might not seem like it when it's all said and done, but I don't think he has nothing to worry about. I don't think he's worried because he's going to be federal. And if he gets convicted, Trump's going to pardon him. So what's the worry?
You think the president of the United States would pardon Sean Combs for sex trafficking?
Shit, he pardoned Michael Harris, who allegedly killed a Jewish teenager.
Well,
I don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about that, but I did think it was funny that he's like, well, yeah.
Pardons everybody else. Why not Diddy?
Again, fantastic times, Christian Bladt. We knew we were going to be in the golden age of this show because of this. The fact that we've got jailhouse interviews with Suge. We got Diddy. Is he going to go to prison? Is he not? Is Trump going to save his ass?
Can you
Fucking
imagine, well, the work that I do pulling clips for this show, if Kamala Harris was president or Joe Biden again? Can you imagine what this show would be like? It'd be a lot more bears. I guess.
That's exactly what it would be. Just a lot less of this stuff, which is what people want to hear.
All right. So, Andy, after you've heard the truth from Suge Knight, do you feel stronger one way or the other that perhaps Diddy will go free? I feel like you were pretty much convinced before.
I was very convinced that he was going to go to jail, but Suge brings up a good point about this jury intimidation. When you think about the Kid Cudi car bombing, all it takes is for one juror's kid to be threatened, and then he's off the hook. So that's not a ridiculous point to make.
Not at all. And I think that this will set the standard for future people that are on trial. You must go after the jury and threaten violence, and you can get what you want. So that's the American way. So I support jury tampering and intimidation.
I'm going to remember this because when the trial's over, there is a legal expert, media analyst friend of mine that I'd like to have come on when we get the verdict. Especially if Diddy's found not guilty. All right, so let's put a pin in that and let's move over to politics because there's another troubled figure at the center of this. So go ahead. Oh, king of all diffs. Zane loves BBC. So the British Broadcasting Corporation, is that what it means?
Yeah, that's what the one pun thinks. Yeah, I do love the BBC.
Yeah,
I take BBC to bed with me and tune in.
You never miss an inch of it. I understand. It's been a wild 3 months for Elon Musk, and his time in government service is essentially at an end. And I don't want to get into any of that on the show. And honestly, I might not have dealt with this at all if he hadn't shown up in the Oval Office looking like this. So he shows up in the Oval Office to say goodbye. He's got a black eye there.
Wow.
He must have used the same entrance that Mitch McConnell used.
He must have. And this also comes on the heels of headlines. And look, Rolling Stone is not the be all and end all, but this summarizes some New York Times reporting. Elon Musk denies report he took so much ketamine he doesn't pee right. So this is a reaction to reporting by the New York Times. So he shows up with the black eye, and he also, there are these rumors of a lot of ketamine usage, which, look, it's not the 90s anymore. Okay. So he does feel the need to address that, mostly because someone immediately asks him about it.
What happened to your eye? I noticed there's a bruise there.
Well, it wasn't. I wasn't anywhere near France. So,
where's the kid?
Well, I'm glad you asked about the kid.
Yeah, where's that little asshole?
So he says I'm nowhere near France, and the reporter's like, "What does that mean?" We'll get to that in a second. But so he's going to give an explanation.
What does that mean?
No,
I didn't notice his
First lady of France.
Getting slapped.
I didn't notice.
So
I get it.
yeah, no, I was just horsing around with Little X, and I said, "Go ahead, punch me in the face," and he did. Turns out, even a 5-year-old punching you in the face actually does.
That was X that did?
Yeah.
X could do it. If you knew X,
I saw his mom right now.
So that's the kid who we covered being there in the Oval Office.
That's the one that told Trump to shut up, right? Didn't he go, shut up?
He did. That's exactly.
Is that the one that he was using as a human shield when Luigi Mangione started taking out CEOs?
Yes, that's when Little X came around. So addressing sort of the first part of that, where he, very naturally and calmly is a funny man, Elon Musk, trying to make a joke about. We showed this on the show last week, Eric, the French president getting slapped by his wife.
I do remember that.
Again, the only trustworthy journalist in Washington, D.C., Peter Doocy, has a question for President Trump about this.
On board a plane that showed the First Lady of France slapping her husband, Emmanuel Macron. Do you have any world leader to world leader marital advice on those phones?
Make sure the door remains closed.
I love that answer. It's like, leave the door closed so that no one can see your wife slapping you.
Right.
Again, interesting times, Easy. Nobody else is giving us an answer like that.
Nope. That's why we should probably just, if you think about it, in terms of content, this is the greatest American president ever.
In terms of clippability and
Yes.
commentary,
I don't care about how he runs the nation. You think I care about all these fuckers going to El Salvador? Fuck that shit. I'm only interested in the comedy.
But what if the guys going to El Salvador have huge penises? Do you care then?
Look,
all right.
No.
I think that Carl needs to revive the pea pod so that Elon Musk can prove that his stream is normal.
I think that's actually a great idea. So finally, Peter Doocy gets to the question that he wants to ask, but Elon Musk is not having it.
President Trump, the president mentioned that you had to deal with all the slings and arrows during your time at Doge. There's this.
Well, some of the people, some of the media organizations in this room were the slingers.
Huh? So some of the people here are the ones who are saying bad shit about me.
Slingers or?
Well, he said, yes. He did say slingers.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah, no. That's Peter Doocy's fault for saying slings and arrows. Okay, so Peter gets to the question.
Well, so there is a New York Times report today that accuses you of blurring the line between.
Is the New York Times, is that the same publication that got a Pulitzer Prize for false reporting on the Russiagate? Is it the same organization? I gotta check my Pulitzer. My Pulitzer counter.
It is.
But so I think the judge just ruled against New York Times for their lies about the Russiagate hoax, and that they might have to give back that Pulitzer Prize. That New York Times. Let's move on.
Okay, if everybody in South Africa sounds like that,
Yes,
we need
they
to
do.
bomb South Africa.
It's the worst accent.
What a horrible! I can't handle it. This guy, him talking, it just drives me up a wall. He's the worst. I'd rather listen to RFK than this psychopath.
Yeah, at least he's got good stories about bear hunting and stuff.
Jesus Christ.
So
that New York Times is just asking the guy that used to work with Jeffrey Epstein, that guy, who has problems peeing because of all the drugs. The guy that used to work with Jeffrey Epstein,
and
that guy.
And by the way, again, this is Peter Doocy, the last trustworthy journalist in Washington, D.C. He's giving him the opportunity to respond to it and say that but instead he's just like, well, no, I'm not going to handle it. So I have to give credit to the person that I saw post this on X. Matt McDermott was his name. So as this event goes on, Elon is just standing there. And this is going to be a little tough for our audio audience. We'll do our best to describe it. But just imagine Stevie Wonder sitting at a piano waiting to lean into the microphone, and you'll get a sense for how much he's swaying here. This does not dissuade the notion that maybe this guy's high all the time.
Our country's given $5 billion plus to Harvard over a short period
Say
of time.
you.
Case. It's a case
Say
we
me.
win. We can't lose that case.
Say for always.
We have the right to make grants. We're not going to make any grants like
Naturally.
that. Very nice. I think Columbia wants to get to the bottom of the problem. They've acted, and there are other institutions too. They're acting, but Harvard's trying to be a big.
So shout out to Matt McDermott, who I don't know at all, but I saw that video and I was like,
that's outstanding.
It's fantastic work there.
It looks like he just missed the goal. He's hugging himself.
I mean, who am I to judge? If he wants to do ketamine, I don't give a shit. It's cool, whatever. I don't give a fuck. If somebody punches him in the face, who gives a shit?
Well,
he's a billionaire.
You can relate to him because it seems like it makes his dick not work. So it's all right. And
like I'm on ketamine.
I try to not go to this source too often. The Midas Touch is a very far left. You can't even call them a journalism outlet. Some of us remember Stuttering John trying to be a part of it, but they did isolate this. And they refer to some reporting that I don't want to read because I'm lazy. So they're going to factor into the theory on how he actually got the black eye.
Office after reports that he got into a physical fight with Trump's Treasury
Guy's got
Secretary
Carl
Scott Bessent.
Oh. So you mean he's very handsome, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
The Oval Office after reports that he got into a physical fight with Trump's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. The Daily Mail had reported that Elon Musk's swift departure from Doge in the White House was escalated by an outburst that turned violent, according to none other than Steve Bannon, who said that Elon Musk physically shoved the 62-year-old Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent after he was confronted over his wild promises to save the administration $1 trillion. Okay. Bessent apparently called Musk out and said, "You promised us $1 trillion in cuts, and now you're at like $100 billion, and nobody can find anything. What are you doing?" Okay. And that's when Elon got physical. It's a sore subject with him. It wasn't an argument. It was a physical confrontation.
Oh, sweet.
Elon basically shoved him.
So, look, we're nothing if not a few gossipy hens on this show. This is the way some people watch Real Housewives. I love this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care if this is 0% true. I love the fact that the Daily Mail reported it, that this guy read it, so I didn't have to. I like to think that this is how he got a black eye because the Treasury Secretary just pushed him and said, "Where's our fucking money?" It's like the third act of Casino. We need our fucking money.
Put your head to sleep.
So we're gonna keep an eye on Elon. He's he's gone but not forgotten, and I'm sure he's not even really gone. As I teased earlier, if we're going to have Trucker Andy from the All Apologies podcast, we would, of course, have to feature an apology. So let's head over to sports.
Who are these sports? You know what I'm saying? Who are these sports? Let's see who's playing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's the side.
That every week, that's always the one that I know needs to be louder. All right. So we are talking about so the actual incident that this is in response to has been scrubbed from the internet and social media, but it's kind of fun to start with the apology. This is an afternoon sports talk host in Seattle. His name is Mark James. Let's hear how a recent episode of his show started. This is as soon as they come from the break. There's no production. There's no nothing. He just hits the post, as they say.
And this is Mark James. You're listening to MJ in the Midday. And first and foremost, I want to sincerely apologize for my actions, which transpired.
Are you of the thinking, Easy, that it doesn't matter what he's apologizing for? He shouldn't be doing this.
I've done this myself, and I'm of the opinion now that you never apologize. Just take the L or get fired. It doesn't matter. Just don't apologize.
I'm pretty sure somebody sent me you apologizing, but that's for another day.
And it's me.
Yeah, right. He said, oh, yeah, that's the just cover Eric Zane on the All Apologies podcast. All right, so he's starting with an apology, and let's see how much we can get into this
On Tuesday, and I want to personally apologize to Ryan Roland Smith and Luke Arkins because neither one of them deserved what I did. It was absolutely unprofessional. It was reprehensible. It was inexcusable.
You guys want to know what he did?
Well, it's got to be a joke. He's got to, or slandered them. It's either he made a joke and in the process somebody got slandered.
You would think that, but I'm sorry to say that you would in fact be wrong.
Okay.
So let me get
He
this
said
up here.
they're banging each other.
No.
Oh.
So the controversy began during a show. This is a couple weeks ago when Mark James read a text message from a listener said, "Why the Mariners chose marble mouth Roland Smith is beyond me. It kind of helps to be able to understand your major league broadcasters." James eagerly agreed with the assessment, saying, "I can't understand what he says. You have this Aussie guy," and we all know how hard it is to understand the Aussie guy. "I feel like I'm watching Australian rules football. It's so out of place. I don't get it." And then there was a guest who had been on his show previously who said, well, that'll be the last time I go on a show. And Mark James then went after this guy and said, "You're the worst guest I ever had, bro," and threatened to have him never be on the airways again. So that's the two-pronged approach.
I love it. That sounds like a show to listen to. I like every minute of that. That's outstanding.
Well, and I also want to give you guys at least just a little snippet for what Ryan Roland Smith sounds like. And
This
you can
is
tell
baseball? This is a baseball.
But he is a former player for the Mariners. He is from Australia. There's not a lot of those, but he's basically the one.
Okay.
The kid Davis Martin who pitched against Luis Castillo, he's a supernator. So yeah, that's why he got that kick change up. That's why he throws a cut fastball. But
so who would you rather listen to, this guy or Elon Musk?
This guy.
Okay.
10 out of 10 times.
But is Mark James wrong, Andy? That that guy is like, you can get it, but is he a natural for doing a broadcast of baseball? 162 baseball games.
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
Whatever. It's not worth apologizing over either.
Oh, well, you thought so until this point. Just wait.
I also want to apologize to everybody out there in the listening audience in Seattle. I'm new here, and it's taking me a long time to find the way to get acclimated, and that was not me. That is certainly not someone that my family, my father would be proud of. And
you got some thoughts, Izzy?
I hate apologies that go over the offense.
Yeah.
That kind of just too much. It's too much.
Look, I do believe there are times you need to apologize, and you probably need to sound like this. I think that it should have been addressed, I guess. But there's like 2.5 more minutes.
All I ask of you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The only thing I can think is this radio station that he is actually broadcasting on is also where the baseball games are. No,
no, the Mariners, I believe, are still on the ESPN affiliate there in Seattle, but I could be wrong. I don't think so, though.
You is to I ask for your forgiveness, and
You
I
forgive
hope
him, Easy.
everybody out there that I can
but I
gain
hate-
your trust.
Oh, God, if you say the N-word, you wouldn't even have this. Who's the fucking Brenneman? That fucker who
I'm Brenneman.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said the F rhymes with bag capital of the world or something like that.
Yeah, he said Bag City.
Yes.
Yes, that is what it said.
And it wasn't as over the top as this one.
And there's a deep drive by Castellanos. And go ahead.
Is this guy in Seattle? Is he all?
Yeah, so he moved there for this. He does do his show from there.
So he's basically he's insulted the fan base, and the fan base is turning on him.
Oh,
okay, now I understand why he's apologizing.
Yeah, it's it's not a very tough fan base there in Seattle,
Including the local media, especially Ryan and Luke personally.
So Luke is the guy they had on as a guest that he said he was basically going to bury him and have him never be on radio again.
And my colleagues here at KJR, I do not speak for them. This was on me. I'm the one who did this, and I need to learn a valuable lesson.
There is a
And I will
reason I'm
take
letting this go on so long.
As
Eric.
someone who has a lot of work to do, I'm a very flawed individual, and
This is what convinces me you're a flawed individual, not the thing that got you in trouble.
I have done this exact thing.
Oh, all right, Andy. Let's sidebar and see how we can make sure we find that.
not someone who. This is not indicative of the type of human being that I am.
It probably is. by the
So
way.
I ask you, Seattle, to give me a chance.
Yeah, give him a chance.
And hopefully in time, I will earn your trust, and you will forgive me and understand that something as unprofessional and unacceptable as I did does not define who I am. So with that being said, I am sorry.
He's sorry.
Luke, I'm sorry to Ryan. I apologize personally to them. I am sorry to the listening audience and to everybody that's made KJR an unbelievable station for decades.
I'm sorry to Eric, Zane, Christian Bladt, and Trucker Andy, who Trucker Andy should be sorry for ever calling
So this
himself
isn't
Andy Q Public, but let's move
This
on.
isn't
from
a
that.
bit. He isn't going to say, fuck you. I'm not a
No.
because that's what the.
They're probably telling him he needs to do this to keep his job. He's only been on for a couple of months. He moved from New England. By the way, he got in some trouble in New England too, which we'll talk about in a moment.
And I hope one day
One
that
day.
I can earn your trust back, but I have a lot of work to do
Stay
to
with
get
us.
there. So I apologize and I'm sorry. All right, Sports Radio 93.3 KJR FM brings you Grand Slam Cash for your chance at $1,000 every hour. Listen each weekday, every
Grand
hour
Slam
between
Cash.
6 a.m. to 7 p.m. for the nationwide.
He takes like 3 seconds, and then he talks about how you can win $1,000.
Yeah. That is like the Brenneman thing where he's in the middle of his apology. He's just like, oh, yeah, long fly
There's a
ball. At the right
deep drive by Castellanos.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered just being the villain? And people love to have somebody to call up and scream at.
Well,
just
I
be
think
a
that's his
punching bag.
that's what his persona was. And that's what he was going for, but then it backfired because he's in Seattle. I'm sorry, I don't want to run too much over today, but I got to get just these few seconds again.
No, that's perfect.
All right, Sports Radio 93.3 KJR FM brings you Grand Slam Cash.
Like now it's officially over. Now we can continue on with our broadcast day and talk
So-
about Grand Slam Cash.
He does that read, but then there's more.
Also want to personalize this as well to my excellent executive producer, Christopher Kidd, who's coming back off a week vacation
Doing more?
and came into a firestorm. So, Kidd, this is not an indictment of you. The actions of one loudmouth idiot like myself does not speak for you. So I am sorry to you personally, Chris.
All good, my G. Let's move forward, have fun like we always have, and yeah, let's just.
Oh, good, my G. Let's just move on, move
Yeah.
forward like we
Yeah.
always do, okay?
Jesus.
Trucker Andy brings up a good point. Be the villain. Who's the villain of WATB?
That's
Eric
Carl.
Zane. Oh,
Carl for sure. He's here sometimes.
it's in the song.
Yeah. And thank you for the $10, by the way. That's $110 you've given us.
He then goes on to ask his producer about his vacation, but I know I've already played more than enough. Wow. But the fact that he went into the read for the quick cash, I think is all incredibly worth it. Somebody who was probably asked to apologize over the last few days, but had no intention of doing it, was Pat McAfee, who ahead of the Pacers-Knicks game was handed the microphone.
Indianapolis, Indiana. We got some big wigs from the big city in the building. Spike Lee is here.
Okay.
Ben Stiller is here. Timothy Chalamet is here.
Right.
Chalamet. Let's send these sons of bitches back to New York with their ears ringing. Let's turn this shit on!
And that's exactly what he was supposed to do. He's handed a microphone, and he's trying to hype up the Pacers crowd. And it worked, by the way.
That's
because,
great.
They're going on to the finals. So John Mellencamp was there at the game. John Cougar Mellencamp. And he posted this. The Knicks Pacers games have been very entertaining for anyone who likes basketball or sports. I attended game 4 in Indianapolis. Quote, Hoosier hospitality, unquote. I was embarrassed when somebody, under whose direction I don't know, called out some of the people who had made the trip from New York to support their team and in turn support our team, but actually just support their team.
Yeah.
The audience booed these people. I'd say that was not Hoosier hospitality.
Aw.
One could only say it's poor sportsmanship. I was not proud to be a Hoosier, and I've lived here my entire life.
Okay.
On behalf of most Hoosiers, I would like to apologize for our poor behavior. I'm sure the Pacers had nothing to do with this smackdown, but they did have everything to do with the smackdown of the Knicks. So there is still that.
He's a moron. If you've ever seen him on Bill Maher, I mean, he's dumb. His wife probably wrote that. John Mellencamp is a stupid man. Maher is always like shaking his head like, what the fuck? You got your head up your ass? Are you kidding me? He's an idiot.
That's like hippy dippy. Let's all get along type of shit with no trash talking of a sporting event and like team rivals and things like that. Ben Stiller and Timothy Chalamet had no problem with that. And if you know who Pat McAfee is, they certainly didn't have a problem with it.
Well, I'm glad you said that because Ben Stiller made this appearance on cable news, cable sports channel SNY in New York. It's coming.
To hear that you were treated well by the fans nearby. We all saw Mr. Pat McAfee and his it was like a WWE style call out. Which did you know that was coming? Did you?
I have to say I was not familiar with his game. I did not know that was coming. Is he? I know. Look, I'm a casual football fan. I know that he was a field goal kicker.
Punter for the Colts.
Punter. He was a punter.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and then he got really popular on his show. Was he also a wrestler? Does he also wrestle?
I think he does WWE commentary. He does work.
Come on, Zoolander.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I did know that Timothy, had been on his show. And I was like, oh, that's your boy. That's your guy. And then, so when that happened, I was a little bit like, whoa. That's okay, but then
I was a little bit like, whoa.
Aspect of it, I get it. He's like, it's just not the way it happens in New York. You know what I mean? It's not what, if you go on the Jumbotron, like they're going to show him, if he comes to the Garden, he should come to the Garden. He should come to the Garden for Game 5. And, they'll put him up on the screen and they'll show him punting the ball and everybody will give him a nice cheer.
How can someone who's in comedy movies have no timing whatsoever? That was the worst thing I've heard today.
It's pretty bad, but the host tries to make this point.
was you, it was Tim, and it was Spike Lee.
Spike, yeah.
You know, there was another New Yorker in the building, and I was a little surprised Pat McAfee did not include him on the list. 50 Cent was right there, courtside, to make it clean.
He's not stupid, Pat McAfee.
He didn't make Pat's list. So I thought that was an interesting omission. But Sean, when you were watching this, you know, we know your relationship with Ben. We'll get into that a little bit.
So, how do you feel about the way that Ben Stiller hilariously responds to this?
First of all, Ian is suggesting, he didn't say it to Fiddy because he's black and he might have a gun. That's basically what he's saying there. And I don't know. I just thought it was stupid.
Yeah. Pat just thought he was on the team. That's why he didn't say anything about Fiddy.
Yeah. And I have this has very rarely happened in the history of this show. I have now found it, but I didn't have the clip that I wanted, which is Pat McAfee responding to Johnny Cougs. Okay. And I successfully found it, and I was ignoring the two of you while I did it. But,
that's okay.
I'm glad you
I
guys
wasn't
had
saying
each other.
anything funny, which is normal. So
right, exactly. So we see this screen here, and we should be able to.
Now, when the Knicks are playing in Gainbridge, I believe there is going to be some booze.
Yep.
There might be some negative things said towards the other team.
I hope not.
There might be.
It better not be.
That is kind of how sports work, I think.
Not if we're there.
Well, now, going forward, we are going to be an agent of only good things at sports stuff happening. Only positive cheers going forward, because that will make John Cougar Mellencamp happy. What a moment for John Coug yesterday.
Oh, you mean Hoosier hospitality?
What's that?
You mean Hoosier hospitality?
That's right. In quotes like this. Mr. Coug Mellencamp. I don't know what he thought he was doing with that particular quote tweet. I respect and appreciate the fact that he said, you know what? I've made a pretty good living over the last few years, grandstanding higher than anybody else on everything.
Yeah.
This feels like a good time to do that right now. And he puts out this horrendous quote tweet. Horrendous graphic. John, can't tell you how bad everything you did here was. Everything. The graphic, the quote, the timing. You're 2 days late, John. You're 2 days late, bub. Puts this thing out there. Doesn't even say my name.
No.
John, shut the fuck up. Okay? So they put this out, calls me somebody. Okay?
Yep.
I am some.
Yeah.
So
I always love it when people.
It was all the work up to him saying, "Shut the fuck up." You know?
Yeah, you know, and I also love that you have Stiller and Mellencamp both dismissing Pat. I mean, they were very dismissive in both the comments and the written word. Pat McAfee is fucking huge. They could only hope to be a fraction of the popularity of
Stiller should
McAfee.
hope Zoolander 2 did anything like the kind of numbers Pat McAfee gets. What do you think, Andy?
He's right. I don't even like McAfee, and I love that comment.
Yeah.
Out of everybody that's there, he's the only person that has any business being there.
Right.
Ben Stiller, well, I don't know what the fuck happened to him, but he's completely lost it. He's lost his sense of humor. John Mellencamp posting a picture of himself to prove that I think he just felt left out, that he didn't get name checked. He's like, hey guys, I was at the game too.
Yeah.
And I get a shout out. So we have to shout himself out.
I'm the only famous non-athlete from Indiana. Do you think you could check Johnny Cougs? So we have to address one final thing, and I don't know if either of you have to go. We have to say goodbye to something that's very near and dear to us on this show, and that is the greatest television show possibly in the history of TV, but certainly the greatest sports-related television show. Of course, I am speaking of Inside the NBA on TNT.
WPTB, who are these broadcast history? Who are these broadcast history?
So that was how I knew that the Knicks had lost, because they were suddenly wrapping up this show forever, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what happened there. And it was mostly heartfelt, but I've got two quick clips of their actual last broadcast. The first from the great Shaq.
Family, I'm glad we're sticking together. And like I said, even though the name changes, the engine is still the same. And to that new network we coming to, we're not coming to F around. And since it's the last show, I'm going to say it. We're not coming to fuck around. We kicking ass. We taking names.
I love that. Everything about that he's like, yeah, you know what? We're on cable. I've been able to say this for like 30 years. And Kenny wants in.
This has just been a magnificent ride.
Sorry, what was that?
I like that he's wearing his fat black Chad Zumach hat.
You know what? That's a great enough comment that we do have to show it off here. Yeah.
You're right. I forgot that Chad wears that stupid hat. Holy fuck.
So Kenny gets in.
This has just been a magnificent ride. And as Shaq said, we ain't coming to fuck around.
Oh, Ernie, please tell me.
So there are so many moments that I could pick from this show. And I'm not going to lie. I'm going to use another one next week. But for me, this is my favorite interaction that they had. And of course, it has nothing to do with basketball. This is what'll bring us home and we'll wrap up the show. But we're going to spend a couple minutes with this. I love this conversation.
Yeah, because I told him I didn't want to get a certain vehicle because of the amount of gas I would have to spend. It costs like $80
to fill it up.
Fill it up. And he said, then you said,
when it gets to half, then you put $20, you bring it back to full.
But if I keep doing, I would have to stop more often and still spend 80.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
Why?
You're complaining about when it gets to 0, you spend 80, right? When it gets to half, you put 20. Then when it get back to half, you put 20.
Yeah, but I'll keep stopping, putting 20 in, and it'll equal 80, the same amount of gas. I'm driving the same amount of gas.
The average human stops once a week for gas, right?
Wow.
So we're going to get to more of this. Andy, I wasn't so good in math. What is half of 80? Is it 20?
Yeah, obviously. That's
okay. All right,
how
good.
math works. Gas works.
Good. I'm glad that I should just look to Shaq.
With you only work here twice. You would probably have to stop maybe once every 2 weeks. Don't even try it.
This is bordering
Nobody
on
travel more than me.
This is bordering on what's closer, the West Coast or the moon.
So, which is also in the running for a clip that we might play at some point, which is closer, the West Coast or the moon.
This is bordering on that.
You're
telling me that I wouldn't have to if I didn't let my gas get down, I wouldn't have to fill it up as much.
No, I'm saying you're complaining about the $80. That's what the conversation about. You.
But 4 times 20 is 80 because I'm gonna stop 4 times.
No, you're not gonna stop 4 times. No, you're not gonna stop 4 times. Not in 1 week. You're not.
Anyway,
Kenny,
the West Coast is closer than the moon.
If you let it get to 0, right? Monday.
Because he's not backing down. That's why this is so funny to me.
It's remarkable. I can't even tell if it's a bit. It's so stupid.
I don't think it's a bit. I think a lot of people would be like, Shaq would be like, you know what, I'll explain it off the air. Ernie knows better than to get in the way. And Barkley's just like, this is the greatest conversation I've been a part of in years. So there's more.
They do Friday, right? Then you got to pay 80 to fill it back up.
Right.
Okay, but if you let it get to half by Wednesday, then you pay 20.
No, it won't get to half by. Right, but if Wednesday it's going to be 40, and then on Friday it'll be 40.
Not 40,
again.
20. Yeah. It's going to be 20.
Okay, he's fucking it up on two fronts. He thinks half of 80 is 20. That's fucked.
Yeah.
And then the whole idea of you won't pay as much money if you do it the way I'm doing it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Does I look like the face of a guy who doesn't think he's right?
Yeah, no, he does. But all you have to do is say, okay, what if I start with no gas and I put in 20? How many times am I going to fill it up?
We'll just go to half of half.
It's
and
not
then it'll be
getting
20.
through. It's not getting through. I love this comment. This is why you need agents and managers.
Yeah. Oh my God. Imagine how easy it would have been to rip off Shaq if he did his own deals. He would have signed with the Orlando Magic for $100.
Hamilton Burger. I don't know what this means. Easy probably thinks he isn't interrupting Shaq because he's black.
Hey, I don't even know what that means.
No, I don't. No, listen to what I'm saying.
I am.
Okay. So if I just no, you ain't gonna have to put gas in every day. Don't play me right now. I'm not playing. Don't.
I love the idea that he's like being played right now.
Don't play with me right now. I'm sorry. Like, I really want to know because Ernie, I want to get this car, but I really want to save gas money. You're complaining. Tell me. I want to know how I'm gonna save gas money. You're complaining about the $80.
Yes.
Right. So
I'm
at zero,
complaining.
okay. So at
Ernie's
0
had
is
it.
80. No question. All right. At full is 80, right?
Ernie's
So
like,
to
I
get
wish
to
I
half,
had
that'd be
cancer
40, right?
again.
No question about it. If you put 20 in, then you bring it back up to 3/4. Right?
No, if I put 20 in, it'll get to 1/4.
Jeez, yeah. But it'll be 3/4. It'll be 3/4 full.
3/4 empty.
No, 3/4 full.
But who's on first? Serious.
Yeah. You know what?
So they do finally move on, but
Is any going to be?
Oh my God, Dwyer Christian! I'm laughing at this. I love this. I'm sorry you didn't like it. The view is actually pretty funny. What were you going to say, Andy?
Is anybody going to be brave enough to actually explain it to Shaq?
No, I think he still thinks that.
This is
This
how
was like
math and gas works.
Wasn't he a flat earther? You remember when the one basketball player was saying, "Oh yeah, the Earth is flat." He goes, "Yeah, it is flat."
Yeah. Right. It's like how the baseball player Carl Everett didn't believe in dinosaurs because he'd never seen any pictures of them. Yeah. There's a reason why athletes are, athletic. Anyway, that is our show. We are going to miss Inside the NBA. There's an interview that Barkley did with Dan Patrick where he tries to kind of explain the future of it, which we'll look at next week and maybe revisit that show. I mean, we've been doing this show for almost 2 years, Eric, and I don't know how many clips we've played from it. The idea that it'll still be around sort of on ESPN, but I am going to miss that show. I'm not going to miss the NBA. I don't care, but I will miss that show very much.
Right. I don't care about the NBA. Who gives a shit? I couldn't even tell you who's playing now. I think the Pacers because of what we know. And is it the Edmonton Oilers?
Yes, they are going to give a smackdown to the Edmonton Oilers.
Good deal.
So quick programming note before we get to our plugs. Next week, our show will be a day later than usual, but at the same 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, Wednesday, June 11th, and scheduled to appear. Vinny Paulino will be on. I've been talking to Vinny. We've got some Hulk Hogan stuff to break down, and I knew there's only one person I could ask, and that's the great Vinny Paulino from the Creep Off. And vote for whoever you want. Vote for whoever did the best job. See, I'm being very diplomatic because Vinny's going to be kind enough to come on the show. But vote for Vinny. We talked about it like an hour and a half ago. Trucker Andy, tell people where they can find the All Apologies podcast.
Oh, yeah. You can find everything All Apologies Podcast at allapologiespodcast.com. Look out for our episode with Blind Mike tomorrow at 10 a.m. where we'll be talking about Shane Gillis and Tires 2 coming out. And consider supporting the show over on Patreon.
And Eric Zane, where can you be found?
Anywhere podcasts are downloaded, you can get my audio show, Eric Zane Show Podcast. I do it every day. It's also live on Twitch, 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. Friday on Twitch at Eric Zane Live.
And you can find my personal podcast, The Blattcast, BLADTCAST. Trucker Andy and Husey were on our most recent episode talking about the latest Mission Impossible film. And later this week, I'll be talking to one of the writers of Dumb and Dumber. So BLADTCAST. You'll find that we have a couple of voicemails, but I am going to save them for next week because I needed to show that Shaq is really smart and good at math. But we will see everybody on Wednesday. That is our show. And as always, I'm Christian Bladt reminding you, every mic is a hot mic, and WATB is still the best produced show on this network. EZ, I hope to meet you at Hackamania 3, promo code BEARS. Listen to Dynamic Resolution, a video game show. Please, and I do mean please clap.
Thank you. Please clap.
Please clap.